Hey guys, how's it going? This video is about loading your motorcycle up with your gear and what's the best way to, where to put that load on your bike. Now, I first thought about doing this. I'm actually doing this now because I had Vince Strand call me in regards to getting all that suspension stuff, and I've got to take out the rear suspension shaft and send it up to him. So I want to get this bloody video done and out of the way. Bloody totally over trying to work this shit out, and in the end I don't think it really bloody matters too much. But so I was trying to work out, this is just for myself, and I thought obviously, you know, I just share this shit, trying to work out what's the most best way to load your bike. And then when you start getting into centre of mass, centre of gravity, and bloody centrifugal forces and gyroscopical forces and braking and standing, sitting, low speed, high speed, it all makes an absolute bloody difference. The physics, what do you call them, the smart people, when it comes into turning and stuff like that, even they can't explain it. As far as I can see, they can't explain it, not to a layman. It's X equals Y over this. There's just too many bloody variables to factor in. So I'm just going to bloody basically what I've figured out, and a bit of logic. You guys already do this anyway. I mean, it's tried and true, but if anybody's thought about it, this may tweak you to think something or whatever. I don't know. This is hurting my head. Alright guys, let's just start with this. Remember, I must stress, the shit that I'm saying and explaining may be totally bloody wrong. But if it makes you think and look, so be it. Alright, so the centre of gravity of the bike is about here. It's midway in between the two tyres. These things here represent where the axle is. And obviously where the axle is, the bottom of that is where the tyres are resting on the ground. So middle way is your centre of gravity, and it might be up here, it might be a bit down there, or something like that. Really doesn't matter. It's midway between the two. The reason it's there is that's the way they design the bikes. Obviously it's the best optimal place for the centre of gravity to be. Now, so that means that anything past that has an effect, you know, like that, I suppose. So if you're loading anything over here, that's going to have a greater effect than it being over here. Nobody loads shit over there, so this thing's totally bloody irrelevant. So same deal over here. If you're loading shit here, it's going to have more of an effect than here. Hence why you sit there, your passenger sits there, and you normally don't have anything here unless you're putting a load on your bike, carrying all your tents and bags and bloody all that kind of stuff. So that's past that. So I think that comes into it. But so that's a good little picture. We can see that. Beautiful. Let's get rid of that. Alright, so my logic says the further all your loaded gear, the further forward it is, the better. And obviously the optimum place, considering a rider bloody sitting there and standing there and whatever, is directly over this point here. And pretty much people that build motorbikes are smart. Your side panniers are bloody directly over the footprint of that tyre, so it's all just straight on that tyre. It's not leaning it back and changing the whole dynamics or whatever you want to call it. Alright, now I'm going to show you what I was really trying to work out. Alright, so the main thing that I was trying to work out was, where is it best to put the load? Is it best to have it in line of the bike, so you have all your weight up around here, but it's all in this line? Or should you get it down lower, but then bring it out to the side? Which one's better? I mean, I don't know. And of everything that I've been looking at, it all depends really on what you're doing. Because I was wondering, you know, if it's out wider here, does that give it a bit more of a, you know, this type of thing going on? Whereas having it streamlined, it's a whole lot tighter. But then when you've got your weight up higher, then you have this issue. And they all work a little bit different. High speed bloody travelling, if you're doing that, I believe having it high doesn't really make that much of a difference. When you're not doing quite a lot of turns and stuff, having it all there is most probably a good thing. But then having the weight down, when you're doing the tight turnings and all that kind of stuff, that's better than having it up higher, because it's that, oh Jesus, you know, when you're going slow, it's a lot harder to keep the bike balanced. And that's the whole centrifugal, gyroscopical, all factors into that kind of stuff. So yeah, crazy. I don't know if everybody's going to have their own bloody idea, and I think it just works to what. But I think there's some simple things of what best works. All right, so what I believe works for what I do. There's so many different factors in this, and this is, you know, whether you're riding around the world and you're going to places where, you know, people can get into your bags because they're soft bags, as opposed to the aluminium ones, which are lockable and will keep out thieves better than what these ones would. Blah blah blah. For me, having soft bags work because I'm on this and I'm doing tricky stuff and I fall off. So I'd much rather a soft bag, you know, hitting my leg. It's not going to break basically when it falls over like an aluminium bag would, or box would. The other thing is when the bike falls over, if it's hitting that aluminium thing, it's a more hard thing hitting the actual bike, so you might start breaking stuff on the bike. That these bags act as like an airbag or a cushion for the bike, so it actually protects the bike, much like this bloody Safari tank really works well because it protects all parts of the bike. The only thing that it can happen is that the front brace might bust, but if that busts, it doesn't matter. That tank's still going to bloody sit there. It's no big deal. So soft bags is what I like. Having the side panniers works. It keeps the weight down, low. It does give it a bit of a big ass, but I don't think that makes too much difference as opposed to trying to stack everything up here with what I do. So obviously when I load the bags, basically I try and keep all the weight, the heavier stuff, down the bottom. And I suppose if you were looking at it from the whole this way and that way, you know, you'd most probably look at keeping the heavy stuff down in that area there. That's it. It all becomes really nitty bitty and, you know, whatever. Just jump on the fucking bike and ride. So for the top stuff up here, you know, sometimes, you know, I only have one bag, which is this one. This one always goes with me, and it normally sits there. So now I'm thinking, well, that works really, really well for me. I have just the two straps, simple on off, but maybe having it sitting that way is a much better idea. And when you think of it logically, yeah, it is. But if you've got another bag, is it better to stick it up, you know, high like that? Or should I go to that system? As long as it's not impeding on where you sit and where you need to, you know, do a certain amount of movement and whatever. I've got nothing in these bags. And then you go, okay, that's the heavy bag and that's the light bag. Well, then obviously you would go put the heavier one closer in and have the lighter one to the back. It's simple. So I suppose the only other thing, apart from the whole positioning and all that kind of stuff, like there are bags like the giant loop bags, which actually come over and then come down. So they actually sit more forward and bring the weight down, so it's getting it closer to that centre of gravity, which is, I think, maybe the reason why that was done the way it was done. But the other thing is basically just having your bags tied down so that they don't move. Obviously a jiggly bags, or these, that's going to have an effect on your handling. Not so much when you're going fast and in a straight line or whatever, it's when you're doing that manoeuvring, and any delay in weight transfer is going to have an adverse effect on your bike. So basically just making sure that when you strap your stuff down, and strap this bag down to the bike, and then this bag doesn't get strapped down to that bag there, it gets strapped down to the bike, so they are not relying on each other. It just makes it all nice and tight. That's what you want, everything to be nice and tight. So obviously on some bikes you have the bags that hang over the tanks and stuff like that, and that's just a matter of sharing that load all nice. It's a matter of keeping everything balanced. So if you want the same amount of weight on this in this saddlebag to be the same on the other side, so it keeps that happy balance. And the same with the bike. The bike's designed to be balanced, so when you've got a lot of load here, you want to balance it up here. So, and I know this, when I've got a full tank in the Safari and I've just gone out and I've got nothing on the back, you can really feel the difference, and it makes it feel very uncomfortable, or a bit, it's a bit, the front wheel's going to wash out or whatever. So so that kind of like proves to me, you need to have it balanced. So obviously when I don't have anything on there and I'm just going out here, I don't have this tank full. I mean, a lot of people look at it and go, oh my god, it's really big, it must be hard to handle and all that kind of stuff. Well, you don't ride around with it bloody full all the time. If you're only doing a bit, I might only have a tiny amount in there. Which in actual fact, over the stock tank, the centre of gravity is actually lower than it would be in the original, which would be better, I think. Now, I don't have anything on here because the weight that goes in when this thing's full, that balances this whole thing out. So to put more weight on there is just stupid. There you go, guys. Like I said, I thought I was going to be able to work this out and explain it and all that kind of stuff, but it's just utter craziness. And I think at the end of the day, you just get it becomes, you try and tweak things. It's like me, buddy, trying to get this bike as light as possible. I'm going to take off the switch, the kickstand switch, because I deactivated it ages ago, and it's just sitting there, it's not doing it. I'm going to take it off because I'm not going to put it back on. But in the sense of weight, it's not going to make any bloody difference, really. Same with the helmet lock. I'm going to get rid of that as well. I never use that. I'm doing it just because I want to do it. It's something that something I can play with. Anyway, but just the basics, obviously. Don't have your load too high. Not too wide. Keep all the weight stuff down low and this way as much as you can. Keep all your bags secure, nice and tight, so they don't bloody have that wriggly stuff on it. Hey presto, get out there and bloody ride. Alright guys, keep on riding.